Hey guys, what's up? It's Drew Speed 7 here. Day 2 working on this car. It's a couple days later after the first video though. Pulled the rest of the intake off, got the fuel rails off, fuel rail with the injectors. Not too much E85 came out. My car runs an E85, so that's good. Pulled the coil pack off from the bad side, where the noise was coming from. Pulled the plugs off, got all my stuff labeled in bags. Just make sure that you do that, it just helps. I'll get a box, I'll put that shit in there. Back to the car. Haven't pulled the intake off yet. I could do it, but I had to wait to borrow a tool, the fuel disconnect. The one I had didn't fit for this car. So I was able to get that off, which I moved over to here. And I drained all the coolant out from the, there's a little plug valve thing on the bottom, under the side of the radiator. It's a little tight, you spin it out. It's like a valve, basically, and you can bleed it. It doesn't get all over the place, so that's nice. I got the coolant here. I started with the small pan, and it was getting full, so I moved over to the bigger one, and I just dumped it all in there. Probably about a 10-inch pan, I'd say, and it's about halfway up. So just make sure you have a big enough one when you go to do the coolant and drain the coolant. But yeah, no mess. As you can see, there's really nothing, no fluids really anywhere under the car. Why that's there draining, you could, I waited till it was done, but there's the connectors for the fans. Just use a small simple flathead screwdriver, they pop right out. And once you have that undone, the next step would be to just start working on the water pump setup, draining all the hoses, I guess, or just pulling the hoses off. Working way from there. I'm gonna probably pull the fans. I mean, I'm going by the I think it's on LS1 how to. There's like a little guide to follow. I don't know who made it. I didn't really get too far into that. My friend gave me the link and I clicked on it. But I'm gonna go by that. And I'll get the cooling system out of the car and I'll go from there. I do know to remove the head on the driver's side. You actually don't have to pull the pulley off to get the water pump, off the car. You can actually, they say you can actually grab a 15 millimeter wrench and use the open end, and there's some bolts. I don't know if we can see too many of them, but they're down there. There's, I think, one. There's another one there. And then there's one down there, I think. You can be able to squeeze it in there and slowly loosen each one up at a time, and it should back out. And you should be able to get the whole thing off without having to drain any of the power steering fluid. And that'll be nice if I can actually get that done that way. If not, I'll just drain it. With like a turkey baster from the top here. I'll just unloosen that and drain all the fluid out with a turkey baster thing. And to get the head bolts out from underneath, because remember, once you pull the intake manifold off, there's going to be intake bolts or head bolts under the intake, and there's going to be head bolts inside the valve cover. Once you pull the valve cover off, there'll be some bolts in there. You'll be able to see it, but I'll probably pull the rockers and the push rods out. I'll leave the valve springs in. I don't need to do that. Take those out. And the important thing is for the headers, because there's bolts underneath, in between, that you'll have to get to. I believe there's only 4, but you'll have to undo the header But to get the header free to be able to back it off of the head, you want to go ahead and it says to undo your header from the Y pipe. So I'll do that, and I'll try and wiggle it free from the piping, from the Y pipe, and I'll have more play. That way, when I remove the header bolts, the header will basically just be resting in the car, and I'll be able to move it. Should be able to drop down an inch or two, a couple inches, just enough to give me the space to get like a better angle with the wrench and socket to break those head bolts off on the bottom. I mean, it looks like a lot of work, and it could be if you're not really experienced. I mean, I'm not that experienced. I spent a couple months working at a friend's shop. But just, you know, doing basically what I'm doing now, making a YouTube video or watching other people do it. And if you have friends, you can ask if they've done stuff like this. Internet searching forums and stuff, you can there's people out there that will help you. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna just do a little bit at a time. We'll see how it goes. Once I find my issue, I'm pretty sure it's the lifter. Unfortunately, that usually takes out the cam. And I'll probably just do a whole new top side of the motor. I'll probably leave the rods. They're already aftermarket Thunder Racing 7.4-inch rods. But I'll probably do new valve springs. Even though they're dual valve springs already, dual beehive springs. They have about 20,000 miles on them. I'll just go ahead and replace those. I'll probably end up buying a set of heads. Used either 799 243s or 317s, not really sure 100%. I do want to go boost. I want to go turbo on this car. And right now what I'll do is I'll probably just do the whole top side, make it nice for, you know, all motor and the nitrous setup that I have right now. I'll leave the stock bottom end for now. I'll probably boost the stock bottom end too, until something catastrophic happens. I'll pull the yellow moment there. But I'll do a LS2 timing chain. I'll do the LS7 rollers or lifters with the LS2 trays, because they're a little bit stronger. I'll probably end up replacing the water pump or the steering pump pulley, just because they're like ceramic plastic, hard plastic. With age, they will, you know, trip and crack, and when you start to make a lot of power, I've seen them break on the dyno or during pulls. You don't really want that to happen. So I might do that. Maybe I'll do a new steering pump, something a little bit performance-wise. Water pump, I don't know what I'll do there. I'll probably just leave it stock for now. But we'll see. I'll break everything out. I'm gonna have to get everything anyways. All new head gaskets, head bolts, ARP stuff, and just go from there. But right now, more or less, just tearing it down, get the cooling system out, pull the head, find my issue, and then go from there. All right, guys. I'll give you another update when I get more work done. Peace.